We'll wait a few minutes.
It's challenging.
It's
Yeah.
a whole different world. I feel bad for people who don't know how to navigate it.
Well,
because
that's, I know.
It's very, very
Well,
challenging and,
How are you doing, my friend? Doing good?
it's very good because the one thing
Oh, that's a great thing.
You're not here for?
I got diagnosed with breast cancer about 6 weeks ago. I do not have that chemo.
That's great. Good.
There's a scoring.
Yeah.
and, you know,
Hi, Heather.
Good.
Hi, oh, good, okay. I can't see you, but we can hear you.
Oh, yeah, I have my camera off.
Oh, no, but I've got nothing on the screen at all.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, hang on, now we're
Good to
It's
hear.
been like,
having tech challenges.
That room always has technical difficulties.
You're sort of blinking in and out with your name, but at least you're in the room with us, which is good.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll be waiting for Jane for a few minutes. Is Jen there?
She's
I'm
there.
here.
Hi, Jen.
Hey, guys.
I think we're gonna just wait a few minutes to see. Jane said she was coming, so if we could just wait a couple
Yeah.
minutes, see if she shows up.
Sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, we were in Annapolis, Maryland. My daughter bought a home there and she's turning 30, so we said, all right, we'll go. And we spent 3.5 days with them. It was wonderful. Had a great time. And on the way back, talk about, we get the text, my mother-in-law fell, broke her ankle. So we detour, instead of coming back to Connecticut, we went to Long Island. We spent 2 days with her and helping,
Yeah.
I mean, I love
Oh, yeah.
my mother-in-law, but she never took care of mother-in-law.
But it's your mother-in-law.
Oh, she is my mother. Yep, she is my mother-in-law.
How old is she?
She'll be 89 in December. She
Wow.
never, ever took care of herself.
Mhm.
And like I said, I love her, but she's the worst patient. She's just so, anyway. She's all wrapped up. First words out of her mouth, I'm not having surgery. I go, Mom, let's calm down. So I did 2 days with one of my other sister-in-laws, and my wife a little bit helped out, but she was taking care of my mother-in-law, navigating doctors and hospitals, dissecting them. So she's got actually her second consult today. Hopefully she can get hospital for special surgery, but we call her queen. And I'll leave it at that.
That's funny.
Yeah, I feel bad, feel terrible.
All right, well,
She's coming, right?
she said she was, yeah. You know what, we'll just get started. All right, well,
So you don't have to take minutes, you don't have to call to order if you don't have a quorum.
oh, that's right, she's not here, we only have
Oh.
3 people.
Heather,
Lord.
the rules.
Thank
man.
you. Rule, yeah, follow the
Good rules, I love you.
Thank you for-
Oh, I was gonna say,
Should I text her?
we probably
Oh, have no.
general conversation, just no deciding of things, right?
Yes.
Okay, well then let's generally talk.
Okay.
Jen,
All right, we'll generally talk, we won't talk about the minutes. So, you know what, I'll talk a little bit about number 5, part on old business, continued planning, communication strategy, and execution. So, Jane and I have actually talked about this, and we think that a better strategy, or I won't say better, that a strategy for maybe reaching the public. I came, Anthony was there also, we showed up at that, we decided to go to that forum, the last forum that the planning and zoning commission had at the housing situation. And I looked around and said, I sat there for an hour, I had an hour, I didn't know what to do other stuff after an hour, but there were about 7 or 8 people there. And I don't know, for me, in my opinion, I think that those meetings are just a waste of time. I don't think you're accomplishing much. You have a very small group of people that show up, it's a lot of effort, little game. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Jane and I have talked about that and a lot together. And we think, like, what are the ways to get information to people? Just to be getting information, we're gonna have a big debate, we're gonna ask, and maybe they'll ask questions, and we're talking about, we start thinking, better to be putting like a little table in places where people are, like maybe in a farmer's market, or maybe, Jane had sent out a few things things, I don't know, there's a Rotary thing happening someplace, this thing happening someplace. Like maybe we can just go to these things, like these events that are happening, have a table on the edge, like at Stop and Shop here or someplace, and have a pamphlet that we can just hand out to people, in maybe in just in that sort of encounter you might, then maybe chat a little bit with people and answer a question.
Every weekend, there's a
So-
huge gathering on the green.
Michael was working on, so one of the suggestions was, let's just take the FAQs and hand that out off our website. So Michael worked on reformatting it,
Oh,
you know,
good.
like, and I think he even went out and got some prices, on
Oh,
how
yeah?
much it would cost to get like 500 copies, in fact.
I'll tell you, I've done a few things outside Stop and Shop, you know, for the Knights of Columbus and everything. You have contact with people.
Yeah, let me pull up the little
You know,
email.
and
that's-
especially if you're not asking for money.
Right.
Yeah, you can, quick conversation, I'd like you to, you know, please take this, any questions, let me know,
Especially if you're not asking for money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
right?
And so here's, Michael's here type of book. For example, it isn't even that expensive. He had a quote, 500 brochures, 8.5 by 11, full color, text, $387. I'm thinking the town could probably handle that. Oh,
Yeah, I know
If
that.
we ever got a budget.
yeah.
Not that I wanna promise Karen's money, but I know that she did say there is a small budget, so there
Okay.
might be something.
Yeah.
You know, next meeting, if you had you had the example to show everybody and then.
Who said that, Aaron?
I know that there's a small
Yeah,
budget, so there might
okay,
be
alright.
something there to be able to do that. I would say, I think that Carol Snow, the chair of P and Z, had mentioned doing similar things, being at similar events, so it might be good to connect. Because they're doing similar meetings, but slightly different, theirs are really focused on zoning. right?
Yes.
But affordable housing is a very important component of what they're doing. So it might be good to try to look at partnering with them, talk to them about what they're doing too.
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, my opinion. I think they really are two different things. I would like to just be on our own, to not be distracted by that, because that can get very complicated. And in fact, at that meeting, what were the questions about? They were
They were
about,
really more
yeah,
about.
they were about
affordable
housing.
Housing.
and,
Yes.
even though they're in front of P and Z, never
Yeah.
questions that those two.
That's
women
interesting,
were
yes,
asking.
you're right.
So anyway, I'm the same,
Yep.
just my initial thought is that we try to keep it as simple as possible and just maybe start handing out some information. And if we could just hand out the FAQs, and I think that covers a lot of territory. So I don't know, what do you guys?
I like the idea, I like the idea.
Sure.
You know
So-
what, the more education, the more information we're gonna bring to the community.
It's not, he,
So
we can, he gets this,
Helps us too, we get more feedback.
yeah, I mean, I just think that maybe that environment is a little bit more conducive, that for people, it's not so formal. Well, if you're just outside and you're wondering why, maybe they stop, maybe they ask questions, maybe they don't. At least maybe you can just hand it to them and
Yeah.
look at it and get on it before they throw it away or something. Anyway, so I think that, I think maybe we should talk about it, maybe decide where to go. I don't even know if you have to ask permission for that kind of stuff, do you know?
So I think some of the groups and meetings you would want to connect with your,
Yeah.
I think you would want to connect with your sponsors.
Yeah,
So
tell,
probably would be good to look through
Well,
the
definitely.
calendars, put together a list
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah.
And a point of contact.
yeah, definitely the organizations. I didn't know about some of this farmers market. I didn't know if that was a thing. You could just be on the edge of the.
There is a
Sure.
farmer's market manager.
Is there?
Um,
Okay.
And I know you can email them,
Okay.
and they're usually relatively responsive, so I think that
it's a good group.
probably would be good to have a heads up, give them a heads up.
And the chair of that doesn't do anything except arrange with the church to use the green every Friday.
They have
afternoon.
to, they have to coordinate with the church to be able to have use of the.
But so does everybody who wants to
Yeah.
use the green. And having a little stand right outside some of these Saturday activities on the green. There's hundreds of people that come through there.
Yeah.
Whether they would take them home or just throw them in the trash, who knows, But it's the same thing as being outside a Stop and Shop.
You could also look to put in a QR code on the back of it, so it could point to your website for more information too. And maybe even have a sign on the table with the QR code, so people don't want to have a takeaway, they could.
We can do that. I can tell you, if somebody asks me to do a QR code, I'm gonna keep on. But I'm sure, I'm sure there's plenty
Yes,
of people
and
that
it's
will do
same for
that.
me as well, but there are people that do
Yeah,
love a
What-
good QR
Can
code.
can I just have some paper and pencil, please?
yeah.
Also, so by the way, I don't know if you know the answer to this question, but going through the FAQs, Michael had sent me, kind of took it off there, and a couple things have to be updated, and one of it is the Wellington, when we talk about, our question is how many units we have now. The
Okay,
Wellington, do you know, or who would I call to find out how many units do they have in there that are affordable? Is it, it's not all affordable, right?
it's not all
No.
affordable, I believe there's, I don't want to give you wrong information.
Okay.
Off the top of my head, I think that there's 7
7?
units that are market rate. And the
Oh,
remaining,
7 market.
yeah, and then
Wow.
the remaining units were affordable.
Oh,
The
okay.
total number of units over there is
Is that
so
something
How many
that-
did you say?
Aaron would probably have that information,
Okay.
so we need to update it.
Okay, because that will change our little calculations on like questions, the last question. It says it's under construction still, of course,
Yeah.
that's changed, and how many units, and we can add it, and it will, of course, make a huge difference in the percentage. Sure. But just that we need to tweak. The other one was, Jane sent me, I asked, because the median house price on here was in 2024.
Yeah,
So I asked Jane how that changed, and she sent this to me. That year to date, the SLS median sale, June 16, 2025, year to date, guess what the median sale? was in Madison?
Yeah.
700.
Oh.
No, that's the average, the
Yeah,
average, the
yeah.
median
median,
is
yeah,
700.
median is 7.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
Guys, I just went on the Wellington's website. It says they have 31 units and 7 of the units are unrestricted.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yep.
So it's 24. It's terrific.
What does 24 mean? 24 what?
Affordable.
Affordable?
housing. Mhm. Thanks, Jen.
Sure.
So yeah,
Yeah,
700,000.
my wife was looking at that too. I said, she's a real estate agent. So I said, look at this. She was like, oh my gosh.
And then I don't think this had rent on here, so I need to ask Jane about that, so we can update the rental, the median rent of a 1-bedroom apartment, because right now our info says, where is it?
Was that
Oh,
on
median
the,
I had-
the new fax sheet from Scrogwood?
No, this is Jane wrote it off, because she has access to the the MLS.
Right, I'm wondering if that's included on that new, I don't know if I have it with me, I think it's on the folder back in my office. That new fact sheet that came out from Scrog with all the updated data, there might, the rental number might be
Oh,
on there.
okay, yeah, I don't get that. Yeah, so she would access. So there's that, so then, once we can get things accurate, and we'll find out about that too. You say, maybe. Aaron knows that.
Wellington is run by this company out of New London, I think. Or Old Saybrook. It begins with a T. I can't remember the name, but I can get in touch with them in a minute if we need to. If we need to.
All right, well, then, does anybody else have anything to say about that? Your thoughts or?
About-
I like the communication.
About the communication
Yeah.
aspect of this.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta make a move. I mean, we gotta draft something and get it printed. And
That's
is
all.
Michael doing that, do you think? Is he
Yeah,
gonna draft
he's
something?
working.
Priced it
He
out.
had priced it and he had sort of reformatted this and then sent it to me and I sent him back a couple, suggestions.
You mean the content of the
Yeah, he
publication?
took the FAQs off the website, reprinted it, with some color highlighted and pushed it down. and got us pricing on putting this in a pamphlet. But, we just need to do some updating on some of the information.
How many pages you thinking of doing?
Well, I'm not sure because I don't know
Yeah.
how this gets printed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
In his email, it said something about, in his email, it said 8.5 by 11 flat,
Mhm.
and then trifold, so that's, this must be 8.5, 11, but for
Okay.
in thirds. So I guess they're probably handy at condensing something like this, and
Yeah,
putting it in a folder. You know, with both sides would be printed on the same. Anyway, so that's that. All right, so I guess, you know, Michael's away someplace, I think he was traveling.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I guess they could.
we'll send him back this year.
Surprised Jane didn't.
Yeah, I don't know, that's unusual, so.
Sure,
All right,
we'll
well-
adjourn at 25 after and she'll show up at 26.
Well, the other thing Mark had on the agenda that was to talk about the new housing legislation. I don't really know what to say about this. I did go try to print out and read about it a little bit. It's not signed. He has
No.
until June 24th to sign it. It's what I
Coming up.
said. And I did try to, I clicked on the thing that gave the 3 different approaches and how much housing we would have to have. I don't know if you guys saw that, but the first one is called a baseline approach. And you know what, I Googled the topic,
Google it
and
too.
then there were links, if you read it, do you know what I mean? And then you click on the highlighted things,
Yeah.
and then, whatever you call that.
Sketchy.
And then, Kate, eventually I got to some explanations, and I just made a teeny tiny note. The first one was called the baseline approach. It says it caps at 20% of your housing stock. And the baseline approach would require, and then there was a map of Connecticut, so I hovered over Madison, and it's like 1,303 units. Then approach A was no cap on the housing stock, and it gave Madison 1,510 units. And then approach B, and the very brief description called it an allocation to maximize after, I can't even read, right now. Something about disability, job access, and housing provision. Anyway, that was 906 units. All that seems very unrealistic in Madison.
Do we get to pick?
I don't know. Those are the things that are on the table. Do you know more about
I
this?
know a little bit. I know that Erin has done a deep dive into the bill.
Yes.
I know she's printed the bill, she's read the 90 pages of the bill. And she intends on doing a learning session
Okay.
for the boards, the community, whoever, I believe
And the
whoever wants to come. So
Yeah,
I know she's planning on doing that for planning and zoning. And so we can make sure that information gets out. I think it's very relevant
Yeah, it would be helpful
for
to be able
affordable
to,
housing to
listen.
attend that.
yes, that would be
So-
helpful, yeah. So, yeah, I don't even know, what can we say about it?
I mean, I know there's also a clause in there where you have to create a fair, I think it's fair rent commission.
Yes,
So
there's
if
that.
your population is over 15,000, so that directly applies to us.
yes.
So there are things, and from what I understand, there are things in the bill that we can opt in and opt out of. There are things in the
Okay.
bill that are mandatory, so
Mhm.
I think we need to do
Yeah,
a deep dive. And you know, maybe it makes more sense to wait to see if the bill is signed also, because it's entirely possible that
It's still gonna be,
Because
it's still
it
gonna be
won't be
amended.
signed. So-
Yeah, there's
Oh,
no
it
way,
is?
there's probably no way that it's
Oh,
gonna be
there's no
signed
way,
as it is.
I
The
mean,
the little tiny bit that I
You know-
read sounded like Ned Lamont, the statement was something like, well, some of
this is
it's
from
good,
May
some of it's bad.
25th and it's still
Yeah.
being rated,
okay.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
it's a month already.
Well, this article that I printed was, I don't know what date this was, but, it didn't sound like he was completely on board with the thing as it's written.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, it
Okay.
sounds, yeah, it sounds like he's, you know, agreeable and disagreeable.
Who's he?
Ned
Ned
Lamont,
Lamont.
you know, the statement was a kind of a, you know, like a, not wishy-washy, but you know,
Right,
like
right.
both sides kind of thing. Yeah, okay, some of it's really good, but we gotta keep talking, people are talking to me kind of thing.
What was the date that you said he has to sign by? Was it, is it June or
June
July?
24th.
Okay,
This
so,
was an article in this Connecticut Insider, and it said, that said, Governor Lamont has until June 24th to decide whether to sign House Bill 5002.
And we don't
And
know.
so
if
far,
he-
he hasn't said conclusively whether he'll sign it.
Yeah, this is the 25th.
And here's the quote. The question is, do you sign it and fix the bill later, or don't sign it and get a new bill that takes down the temperature? Um,
either way, there's no.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah, you know,
um, yeah, so,
parking reform, that seems to be a,
Big deal.
well, because apparently in America, we really like to build parking lots. I've read a little bit about this. And they don't worry about it so much in Europe, I guess. But we like to create a lot of flat land
flat, yeah.
committed to cars. And with nothing, that can do nothing, that are completely useless otherwise, when the cars aren't in it.
You know how many Europes are underground? I mean, they
Well,
build them almost
Because
all
they've
underground.
invested also in this thing called public transportation.
Yeah, for sure.
And this
Yeah,
is-
we can't get around without a car,
Right, because we
at
have,
least not easily.
because the country has decided not to invest in public transportation.
Yeah,
Huge problem. But anyway, so I don't know what more there is to say about the
Yeah,
Connecticut housing bill, because it's not a reality yet. I wonder, I'd be curious to know how they came up with the numbers for Madison. Is that doing the 20% thing, or is that?
no, I talked to Peggy a little bit about this, and there was an outside, basically consultant that came in and came up with all these numbers for all the different towns within the state. And based on conversations that she's had with different people in the SCROG and that sort of thing, it sounds like even though those numbers, have been coming out in all these news articles and everything else and on all these charts, what Peggy's hearing is that even if they stuck with those numbers, they'd only be shooting for a goal of like 25% or something to that effect of the numbers that were published through that consultant. But, with what Heather's saying as well, it's like, how much can we really worry about right now until there's, ink on the paper and a bill is signed.
So, yeah, I think you're correct, until they check the bill, is sort of about.
I mean, and I know that Aaron does plan on doing an info session, so if it's signed, then I think all the boards coming together
Yeah.
to listen to that would be very, very
That'd be
interesting.
great.
Yeah, it'd be helpful.
Yeah, I know. Jeez.
And even though it's on the agenda, the only other thing I know about is that, I think a meeting is perhaps in the works,
Yes,
to talk about the housing trust fund.
yes,
But,
What kind of meeting?
Peggy, I think, had given Mark about, scheduling a meeting to discuss the housing
Yep.
trust fund. And I don't know if I think originally the email had said, there should be other people get on the meeting. I'm not really privy to all that.
she said the town attorney's not gonna be in the meeting.
I would imagine Aaron, I believe Aaron's probably sitting in on that meeting.
Correct.
And maybe Stacy, the director of finance also? I'm not sure.
I don't know, she was
Okay.
on that email chain too.
Yeah.
And they forgot the date,
But,
July 11th.
he wrote to her originally on May 26th, my birthday. And, I don't know, I don't.
Yeah, I think it's a Monday.
Well,
Yeah.
that's all I got.
TBD.
Since Jane did not show up, I guess we don't bother reviewing the minutes or anything.
Oh, so that'll all be
Happen next time.
next meeting.
Go Heather.
Yeah,
It's perfect.
Heather's on top of the Robert's Rules of Order.
I try.
Wow. I don't know, anybody got anything else?
That's it.
Well,
Perfect.
God bless,
Perfect meeting.
let's keep a little pressure on Michael to come forth with a draft. and we
Yeah, I
can at
think
least
you will.
read it approve it or whatever, and then
Yeah,
worry about getting
Oh,
it.
what, oh, I don't know, can I do this officially? Probably not. We're not gonna have a meeting on July 3rd.
Really?
So, yeah, because it's 2 weeks from now and it's July
Just
4th.
July
I think that's the
4th.
point.
yeah.
I'm gonna be down at the beach checking passes and waving people in, so. Yeah, we said, because it's, our next meeting is on the fireworks night,
Oh,
and so, yeah, I will be
Uh,
waving
yeah, for us,
everybody through.
you're right, it's July 2nd.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no. Our next meeting would have been July 2nd, but Mark and I talked about this.
Yeah, no.
It's the week before July, we were not. on
Yeah.
those meetings. So, but I don't,
I don't
I
know if
guess
there's, I don't know if there's necessarily a vote that needs to happen for
Okay.
that, I think it just,
I can
needs
just-
to be updated with the town council.
okay, so, I'll take care of that, or I
okay.
don't know when Mark's coming back, I forget what you told me, so now I can make sure.
I'm gonna type up an email to Erin to just let her know some of the things that were discussed and
Okay.
Well, should we not bother doing
Discussion.
minutes? Because we.
no minutes.
No minutes.
No
Oh,
minutes.
okay.
No minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, next time,
Okay.
which will be the end of July, probably.
I'll probably put a
Be
email
another-
together anyway.
Oh, I
to-
know.
to-
No,
do you want me to? I can do it.
Whatever you wanna do, I mean, it's, well, this is not an official meeting, this is
Yeah,
gathering and a chat, so this
It
is
would
not,
be
nothing's
nice to
been
summarize the
decided.
discussion.
Yeah, I'll let Mark.
Thanks.
know what we did.
That's great.
Yeah.
We'll copy everybody,
Sure.
so we can all stay up to date on all of the great progress we're making.
So really then, and after that, it's July. Oops.
It'll be the 16th,
The
right?
second, and it's the 16th.
Which is another month. So May we meet once, June we meet once, July we
Yeah.
meet once. But there isn't a whole lot to do.
There's not a lot to talk
You know.
about.
no, I know.
All right. Okay, Jen, anything else on your side?
I don't think she's.
Yeah, no, I'm still here. No updates from me. I mean, Board of Selectmen, we're still working through the academy situation, so no decisions made on that. No, that's about it. It's things are kind of slow going, for most boards come this time of year, so.
Summer is a little.
What are they
I
deciding?
mean, what are they, yeah.
What's there to
What's there
decide?
to decide on the cat?
Now you
You shouldn't have said that, Jen.
Here we go, here we go. No,
Jen Gordon.
we have to decide what's gonna happen with the building.
Demolition
Oh,
go
just
through?
let's leave it there another 23 years.
Basically, all the referendum told us is that it's not going to be a community center. So we need to figure out next steps with it. Do we put it out to RFP and see if somebody wants it? Do we knock it down and turn it into green space? I mean, just because the referendum failed doesn't mean that, we get carte blanche to just do whatever we want with it, because, well, that's not how our town government form works.
Does that mean you have to have, I mean, in all seriousness, does it mean it has to, a decision gets made from the Board of Selectmen on whatever the next, and then another referendum has to happen, like does a town? people
It
have to-
doesn't necessarily have to go to referendum. It could go to town meeting. We did have our attorneys present at the last Board of Selectmen meeting. And we talked about, the grants that we've received and the bonding, what are next steps kind of with that. And then basically we could go to special meeting to appropriate the bond dollars that have already been spent, so to speak, to pay off debt service or to go to other capital projects, and we could do that through a special town meeting. But as far as the fate of the academy building itself goes, because of the value of it, our town charter kind of dictates that we need to at least take it, I believe, to a special town meeting vote. I don't know if it doesn't sound like it will necessarily need to go to another referendum, but at least a town meeting. So yeah, the Board of Selectmen, we're gonna kind of come up with options and then the town will have to ultimately decide.
Ken, is affordable housing on the menu there?
That it is not off the menu, but I don't know what the appetite is for that, seeing as how there have been other surveys done throughout the course of the Academy project, and people did not want housing to go in that location.
Well, there's 7 or 8 of us that would
People
support
don't
it.
know what they want. Apparently.
Yeah.
And that's why I say it's not off the table yet, but it's
Certainly not very,
I don't know how high up on the list affordable housing is for smack dab in the middle of town on one of the most prime real estate locations that we have to offer.
But honestly, Jen, if they had some idea to reuse that building for something, I mean,
You can't use the building for anything when you have to spend billions of dollars to redo
Well,
it.
and that's the biggest hurdle for that property. That's absolutely correct. We already know that it's going to cost 15.9 million just to get that building up to code, and that's not even building out any usable space. That's updating your septic and all your mechanicals and all your wiring and plumbing and asbestos removal and everything else that's inside of that building. I honestly think that even for an affordable housing project, if we just said we're going to give you this building, it would probably be far too expensive for them to even do anything with.
yeah.
So what is it, and this might be more than you're prepared to answer at this point, but what does the town meeting look like then? Is there a question that says, do you vote to demolish the building?
Correct.
Do you vote to repurpose it? Are there multiple questions, or is it just?
We haven't gotten that far yet. I mean, we're going to be having a working group session to do an RFP because Peggy, Al, and Scott really feel that it should go out to potential bidders to see if there's any way to save the building and have it repurposed into something else by somebody else. I don't really see a lot of sense in that personally. Which I've expressed in meetings. I think it's just, kicking the can down the road even further and just letting the building sit even longer. But that's what the majority of the board wants to do. So there's going to be a working group, and I know David Kademis is going to be a part of that. He's the chair of the facilities committee that the town put together. So because he's been looking at all the town properties as a whole, both buildings and land. And so that meeting's not even until the first week of July. So, in terms of what a question would look like presented to the town, we're not even close to that.
Okay, that's okay.
From
From someone in my head trying to figure out what that looks like.
From someone that has only spent 20 years of my 73 years living in a small New England town where we have to,
Yeah.
beat something to death before, and let's get another working group or another consultant. Good heavens, the idea that people are so tied to this building, take the building down, put a bench, a stone, whatever you need, a brick to commemorate.
Amen. That's
something else, or just leave it as grass and people can go mill around or whatever. I do not get this. I don't get this.
I don't
What
either.
I really
I'm
hope.
with you, Francine.
What I really hope you guys do not do, please do not pay one more consultant to do another
Oh,
survey.
please don't.
Please stop with the
Don't
working
spend any
group
more
to
money.
discuss it more. Please do not send, if you're gonna send out RFPs, I hope it's to get opinions on demolishing the damn thing.
Yes.
Heavens.
Francine, I could not agree with you anymore.
The only time we lost on revenue.
Yeah, anyway.
Well, it's fine. So I went to that school, so I
I know,
understand the
I had 2 kids go
attachment.
through that school.
Yeah.
I completely get it, but I mean, we just need something needs to happen.
It's time to rip off this Band-Aid already.
Something, like demolish it, make
Pretty,
it something
because,
needs to
well, you know
happen.
what you can do is pretty soon, anybody and everybody that had any attachment to the building will be dead. And then those people will be able to just tear it down with no conscience about it whatsoever. If you just wait long enough.
Wait long enough.
That's right.
Another decade, and maybe you'll be there.
We're just gonna sweat it out.
Did she teach that?
Oh, well. All right, thanks a lot, Jen. I guess
No
we'll-
problem.
I'm gonna expect you to make dinner.
Thanks for pulling
I
this
know, well,
together.
now we're ending so early, I'm not gonna be picking up dinner tonight, I'm gonna have to wait.
Oh, go-